All right, family, we are going to try this one more time. If you have not tried to navigate anything in your life like a live stream or a freaking podcast, I am an example of you don't have to know it all because I have tried to go live 3 times. This is now fourth time. So, welcome, everyone. We are here at our very first podcast for Me First Now. And I'm super excited because I have wanted to do a podcast for years. And, to keep all this wealth and knowledge inside is just it's been bubbling inside of me, and I finally said enough is enough. Let's do it. So what is this podcast about? Relationships Uncensored. That is what our podcast is called, and we are going to talk about relationships, both men and women, how we navigate through our relationship as together, cohesive as a team. And then we're going to talk about the breakups, right? And what happens during that time? And how do we navigate through co parenting? How do we navigate through, I can't stand her or him, right? But the number one thing I want to stress what this platform is about is supporting both men and women's voice. I am a huge advocate of not everybody is a bad mom, a bad father. We are who we are. And everyone deserves a platform in to be together to talk about what's going on so that we can either fix each other's, works that we don't like, or we can decide to be apart but still be together as a unit and still get along, right? And so that's very important. And that is why I birthed Me First Now. A little history about Me First Now is it started from almost 30 plus years ago. I was a single mom navigating through divorce as a young 19-year-old who got married young, had children. By the age of 25, I had 3 children and I was navigating divorce. And so those years are crucial because I experienced so much. I ended up having going through all of this and meeting the love of my life back in 2007, and we got married pretty quickly. Um, and I discovered that I now am not just a wife. I found the love of my life, but I was dealing with a lot of challenges as we merged families. And so he had 3 kids, I had 4 kids, and we were merging those families in a brand new marriage. And so we went through trials and tribulations. And so what I have discovered through all of that is that there are 2 sides to every story, but then there's the truth. And it doesn't mean that people lie during relationships, right? That his perspective, her perspective need a meeting at the mind. And what does that mean? And so that's what we are here to have a platform where everybody can have a voice, nobody is judged. And also, we're going to have a platform to talk about how we can fix the I call wheel of life. And how do we balance it all out so that we can become not only the best version of ourselves for ourselves, but be the best version to present to others, whether it's family, friends, our children, our husband or partner. And so we are going to go through a lot during this next year of podcasting with Me First Now. But I want to stop and say, if you have not followed me on any platforms, I want you to stop right now and go follow me on Facebook, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Coach Cindy Soto. And then our YouTube, this will be streamed live for the next 5 episodes. But after that, I'm going to be strictly on YouTube going live. So I want you to be able to get all the content for free that you can. Stop spending all the thousands of dollars in coaching or training or in counseling. You can stop for a second and just take a breather and let Coach Cindy take over for a second and try to give you some answers, lay the foundation so that you are not wasting your money, but you're giving some foundational skills to take away that you can now take to your counselor or your coach or whatever. But you got to lay the foundation, or you're going to be twiddling your thumbs, spending money over money that is wasted if you just don't have the basic foundation. Let me set it for you for free. And so go over to my YouTube channel, Coach Cindy Soto at Relationships Uncensored, and subscribe so that you don't miss anything that we're going to go over in this net and all of the episodes. Go back, replay, invite your family, your friends, and let's just get some answers together. So I am Coach Cindy Soto, blessed to be here today because yes, I had some obstacles this morning that I just could not believe. Who knows that when you are living in your purpose and you have a talent and a gift to give to somebody, obstacles are going to arise. And that is what happened. The devil thought he was going to win today, and he did not, because I got out of bed. I was all night tossing and turning and woke up with a sciatica. And I never had shooting pain down from my buttocks to my calf. And today it happened. And I was just stressed out, and I took a woosah break and I said, nope, not today. Not gonna happen. And then after all of that, we were going live at 12 p.m. Pacific time, and I literally have restarted this 4 times. And so I now know it's up and running. So thanks for your patience. Thanks for sticking by my side. All my Me First Now movement people, thank you for joining almost 3.5 years ago when we birthed this idea into now what is a podcast. So thank you. I'm deeply grateful. And I want to hear from you guys. So if you guys ever have any questions, we're going to actually read one on air question today, but I'm going to be sorting them out. I'll be responding to you if you email me your questions if I can't get to it on air, but I definitely want to hear from you. I want to know good things, bad things. I want to know questions you may have. And let's talk and navigate through some of these issues. Your issue is something that somebody needs to hear. So you can go over to askcindysoto.com. I'm sorry, askcindysoto@gmail.com and email me your question. Or an easy way is go over to mefirstnow.com, mefirstnow.com, and I'll put that in the comment section as well when we're done. But you can go over there and head up to the free resources that we have for you to navigate through some of these life issues. But also, there's a point in there that says Ask Coach Cindy, and you can leave your questions there as well. So you have 2 ways to ask me whatever you want, and we'll make sure we get you all up and running. So I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I actually grew up in San Jose, California, and love San Jose. It was all I knew, really. But it was something that I felt a need as I grew up and became a young adult, that I wanted to give back. And so I would spend the next 20 plus years in law enforcement, 911 dispatcher. I was a civilian in civil accounting. Wasn't the best of careers I could choose, because I was the supervisor there in the civil accounting division, where we actually did till taps. Were for businesses that didn't pay their bills, and we did collections for families. So I knew that was not a career path that was going to be forever for me. So in 2007, after 20 years at the sheriff's office, I actually transitioned over to be a mom again. I had 3 young boys. 2007, I remarried, and I married the love of my life, or what I thought was the love of my life back then. And he had I'm sorry, I had 4 children. He had 3 children. My kids are gonna kill me. But, when we merged those families, it was the Brady Bunch. We actually, a fun fact, we got cast for the interracial Brady Bunch, and we were doing test tape here in, when we moved to Fremont, California after I got married, and we did test tape for a series that was gonna be the interracial Brady Bunch, replacing if you ever know TLC's, K+8, we were actually gonna replace their series when they divorced. So that's just a little fun fact that we'll share later on, but, um but we I ended up going through divorce in after 13 years of marriage, and, went back to school, got my degree in sociology, and really wanted to understand the brain, how it works, not just counsel people. I wanted to know from infantry all the way until you transitioned in life and you were gone from this earth. I wanted to know the transformation that happens. I needed to understand it, and that's what I studied. So in undergrad, I studied my pants off, the brain, the social deviance of, all ages. And I really feel like that topped off what I needed to know to be the best version of Cindy, but also the best version to help others. And so, although book smart is great, I needed to that for myself. I wanna say that my experience for the last 30 years has got me to where I am today. So I look forward to helping everyone just uncover some things about themselves, their partner, their children that can help them long term be the best version that they're giving to others as well. So we're gonna dive right into our first episode called should I stay or should I go? A lot of us have this question. I know if you're not ready to admit that some of those questions in the back of your mind are going, it is, right? Because sometimes a partner can get on our last nerve. Sometimes a partner can, just get underneath our skin so much that we question, is this the person for me? Or think we talk to our family and friends about it, and little seeds are planted every time we do that. And so, how do we decipher, is it really what's in my heart and what's true, or are we making this up? And so, when you come from a place that I'm going to teach you how to come from, all of those distractions, I call them, all of that chaos is going to be gone, and you're going to be able to focus and really understand what do you want in this relationship. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what if we're navigating through these questions, what happens in the interim, right? The first question you have to ask yourself is, how is our communication? Do I communicate with my partner? Are we talking on a level of I'm listening, but I'm looking right through you? How many people can relate? I know that there has been times when I have tuned my partner out and I'm literally want him to think I'm listening, but I'm looking right through him. Is that you? Then this is for you. You need to listen up because I'm going to give you some tools that will help you not do that and really tune into your partner. That will give you the answer that you're looking for. And then the second question, what are my core values? Have I defined them for me personally? Core values are something that no matter what, that's in my core. If somebody tries to change them about you and what you believe or feel is your truth, then it's never going to work. Them trying to change you and who you are internally is something that is not going, a relationship cannot thrive on if you have broken core values. So really define them for yourself and then make sure you have your partner's core values. And we're going to talk about some of those a little later. And do I feel trusted? Do I feel respected? Do I feel safe with them? Am I a does my partner have a safe place? Whether you're a man or a woman. Yes, women, I want to talk to you for a second. Listen here. I need you to hear me. We always say, I need you, we need safety. I need a safe place. I need you to be my hero, or I need you to be that person that takes care of me. But if you don't provide a safe place for your partner to land, he's gonna go looking for it somewhere else. Safety and fear go hand in hand. If you don't have any fear in that relationship, then you're safe. But if you have fear that you can't talk to your partner because fear overrides safety, you're going to be running around and going in a circle because you're just going to argue and go round and round in an argument. No safety there, no resolution. And then the relationship is either going to start going downhill right away or your partner's going to leave. So you need a safe place to land, and we'll talk about that a little later. How often do you think? This is number 4. How often do you think about breaking up? If you're questioning yourself daily, is this relationship for me? What am I doing? I don't have to go any further. What are you doing? But if you have those questions right now as you're watching this podcast, I want you to take a deep breath and I want you to remember, don't do anything out of emotion. Take a step back and logically think it out with me. And we're going to go over some steps. And I am a coach outside of this. So if you ever need something customized to you, I can coach you through it to get, I call the cliff notes. I am a person that needs immediate change. I don't care if it's in my health. What do I need to do to make it better? If it's in my personal life, what do we need to make it better? Right? Or if it's just change internally so that you can be the best version, let's make it happen. Let's go even faster. So you can always go to mefirstnow.com and book a one-on-one coaching session. You only have to do one session and we can go from there. We'll do a free consultation for you as well. So number 5, and this is probably the biggest one that I get as I coach people through this. Do I have the desire to change? Am I open to hear what I need to change? Or what is holding me back from being the best version of me? And a lot of the times, almost 98% of the time, it's fear of something. Fear of being by yourself. Fear of what you'll lose financially. Fear of being hurt. Fear of not knowing how to do something in life that you were dependent on your partner for. And so fear is very, very powerful. And we need to navigate how to not walk in fear, but leave fear behind so that you can have a healthy relationship with yourself. And that will trickle over to your partner. So that's number 5. And that's probably the biggest one that I can help you with now. And so let's talk about it. Why do we question our relationship? Why? A lot of doubt sets in when we're not happy. So whether it is you're not being fulfilled in that relationship, your partner's not doing something for you. I like when blank. I need you to remember that a person is not a mind reader. If you don't communicate with your partner how to love you, what you need, what you desire, your partner can't fix anything, can't do the things that you desire. They're not a mind reader. And women, we are super, super guilty of this because our emotions can get the best of us. And so while I have been guilty, charge me with the crime, I have been guilty of not being the best logical first partner. I run with my emotions. Luckily, I've had great mentors, great leaders, great partners, that have taught me and really stood up to the fact that you are an emotional creature, but I'm gonna be patient and I'm gonna let you do your thing. But I need you at the end of it, don't make a decision right away because emotions can have us making decisions that we regret later, both men and women. You ever hear the saying, he wants me back? He's sad that he lost me. Or when the woman has moved on or the man has moved on, we tend to guilt trip that person or say some things about their new partner, maybe not so nice things. And that is because we haven't healed internally. And so we need to heal internally to be the best version of us. So those thoughts aren't even able to come into this. And so lack of fulfillment. That's We're going to talk more about that as we go on in this podcast. But are you having constant arguments, bickering, petty stuff? Are you picking out petty stuff to argue about? I don't like this that he does. He leaves clothes all over the floor. He's annoying. He doesn't call me all the time. She doesn't cook dinner for me, or she doesn't have this ready, or she used to get ready in the morning and have her makeup all done or her hair all done. Now she just puts it up in a ponytail and, she doesn't even get ready for me. I need you all to understand that we have to be better at loving on our partner, loving on our husband or wife, so that we can understand them on a whole different level because everything starts with love. You cannot understand somebody if you don't have that love for somebody, even the agape love. You need to come forward with that kind of love to start understanding. And so if you are constantly arguing, I need you to take a step back and stop. We're going to go over some strategies as we go on. This podcast is not that long to go on it, forever. We could talk on this topic. So that's why an important strategy call with me is going to help you unleash some of this stuff. But I can tell you right now, nobody wants to be around somebody that's constantly bickering, arguing. Even if you two are in a relationship, friends don't want to be around that, right? So you're going to start getting people that, oh, I'm good. We can't make it tonight if you're inviting them to go out, right? Because they know Coach Cindy and this person are going to just start arguing. So why do I want to be around them? Be the light in the room. Make everybody want you to invite them. You know how many invites I get to go to places I can't say yes to? But they know the energy I'm going to bring is positivity. They know when they get me on the phone, it's positive energy. And I have my outlets that I have really taken the time to pick out certain outlets I have to vent to. Because no, I go through my stuff. Trust and believe I go through my stuff. And I need certain people for certain things that I can talk about. And then when you have those in place, you're golden. You're going to be good because you're going to have no outside chaos coming in to deflect your mind, your energy. And we have to understand the third thing is the season of life. What does that bring? Life goals change as the seasons that we go through. Who you were yesterday doesn't exist anymore. Today's a new day. So if you had a bad day, you had a bad run in, let it go. Do you know how much time you're wasting in life by bringing something forward to the past? I know I used to blame everybody, be the victim in a lot of things that really I should have been on top of. I shouldn't have been blaming myself for. I shouldn't have been bringing it forward. I used to bring that crap forward and nobody wanted to be around me. I was depressed. I had anxiety. Why? Nothing that happened with that certain person, whether it's a family member, a spouse, a partner, children, when I bring it forward to the next day, that's bringing negative energy forward. And how am I ever going to get positive again? And so we need to learn to let things go, settle them, let them go. And not everything's going to have an answer, and be okay with the unknown. Be okay and trust that it will work itself out. If you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, if you have a faith, go to that faith and give it to that person. And if you don't believe in any of the above, you got to channel it somewhere. You have to channel it and release it. And at the time, I wasn't always in a mental mindset of spirituality. And so I had a bottle similar to this that I would fill up with my limiting beliefs. And I have a strategy for that. It's so powerful. And I still do it because it's an ongoing process that you're going to have to work on. And so we're going to talk about that. And then the last issue of why doubts sink in is infidelity. It's a huge one. It was a huge one in my marriage, where I I started with, when it happened, doubting myself, doubting the person I was. My, I've always been a person that was on top of things. I could rock, take care of all the kids. I could be that super mom. I was that baseball mom, and working the snack shack and being the secretary of Cal Ripken and board of directors. I was the football team mom. I was, somebody was in soccer. I was the team mom. I helped coordinate everything. I was I try to do it all plus hold down a full-time job. And so when infidelity hit my relationship, I doubted everything. I was like, am I not spending enough time with my husband? Why did he do this? Why me? Why, am I not being the best version of me? Am I ugly? Am I fat? Am I, I all these doubts creep in when somebody in the relationship cheats. And it's not a fun place to be. It actually landed me in the hospital several times because of depression, because of anxiety. And I'm being very transparent. And that's what you're going to get from Coach Cindy. You're going to understand that I'm not calling anybody out. I'm telling you my truth. I'm living in my truth and living in the shoes that I walked in for the last 20 plus years, and where it has brought me to today, because I'll never walk in that path again. I am stronger and confident, but more important, I have self-love. I learned to love me. And it's an ongoing process because sometimes things happen and it takes me backwards. And, my best friend and I, we were just talking before the podcast, and she made a good analogy. She said, people think one thing about their relationship. Like, oh, we're so happy. We don't need this. We don't need that. We're happy. But they don't see the behind the scenes. Nobody sees when you guys are behind the door of your home what is happening, or what is troubling the relationship or the marriage, right? And so just know that there's always room for improvement as long as two people come together and they want to make it work. And I'm not a fan of saying once a cheater, always a cheater. Please scratch that from your vocabulary or your thoughts. Get rid of it, put it in the glass jar of limiting beliefs, because that's not true. It's not true. If a person, whether male or female, wants to fix their wrongs and make them right, they can if they work on themselves. Coming from a place of self-love has not always been the thing for everybody. Self-love is something you work on. So a different season of life brings you to a different place in life if you are focusing on being a better version of you. So that version that of the person that cheated on me is now going on to the next relationship. And if he has used that time wisely and changed himself and loved himself, the person that I knew that did that to me, that I thought I loved, he's now worked on himself so that he doesn't repeat the pattern. So it's a 50-50. The person that did that to me is not the person that is moving forward if he decides to change, if he works on himself. I hope that it's coming across because I get this a lot. Cindy, how can you be okay with this person that left you? You were a good woman to this person, but he's now all happy somewhere else. Well, first of all, I have self love. And if I start having those doubts or those thoughts in my head, I go to a place of meditation and remembering that this is a different season. This person that is now in that season of life winning is not the same version that I had. And that's okay because he came or she came into your life for a reason to teach you something, a reason to love on you for something. Whatever that season brought you, if you don't know what that is, extract it. I help people extract what that is, what that purpose of that relationship was, so that you can be okay with that person moving on. And moving on isn't easy, especially when you're not happy with yourself. If you're not happy internally, everything your partner is moving on to is not going to be okay with you. You're going to have internal battle. And so I help you fix that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to make sure that you get all these tools and we extract all those limiting beliefs, bring them to the surface, as painful as they are, but I promise that pain is going to be released and you'll never feel it again once you get there. So, let's talk about some fun facts, some stats. Do you know that 60 to 65% of breakups or divorces are over what? I know a lot of people are going to say finances because that's what we've been taught in society, and that's not what the current stats are. It's over lack of communication. So if you could save your marriage, your partnership, because you had the keys to unlock the door to communication, would it be worth it? Could you fall back in love with your partner? Could you love on them each day? Overlook some of the not core values, but just some of the things that irk you, that make you like, ugh, can't stand that person? I know I would. And I know many people that I've coached have said, if I knew how to better understand and communicate with my partner to understand him or her better, we would still be together. How sad is that? You may have let the one go because you didn't take the time or the energy or to get the tools and resources you needed to know your partner better. And so I have some very specific tools that I use to not only understand my partner better, but to understand and dissect my partner's, my children, my relationship with my children. This is a key one to understand your relationship with health, your relationship with wealth, your relationship with your family, with your friendships. Are you a person that your friendships go in and out? Maybe you have a friend, you have a small circle, you have a large circle. Maybe you don't have a circle yet. Maybe you've been burned. Maybe you have relationships that you keep going into and coming out of. If you can break that pattern, is it worth it? And so I teach you how to do that. And we're going to talk about how to break some of those patterns as we go on. Um, but I want to read one specific letter that came through. Remember, you can ask your questions at askcindysoto@gmail.com or go to mefirstnow.com and submit your letter. You could be anonymous. You can ask to have your name read. You don't care. Whatever it is, this one happens to be an anonymous person that wrote in. And I just want to read a snippet um, for time purposes. But we're going to answer you. She said, "Dear Coach Cindy, thank you for a safe place to express myself without being interrupted or judged. I don't know if I should leave my 5.5-year relationship because I love him more than anything, but we argue all the time about stupid stuff like who's going to cook dinner or who or what to watch on TV. We literally will get in an argument over, I want to watch this, he wants to watch that, and it escalates until one of us storms off. I feel we are off track. I don't know where to go. How do we get back on track? Should I just leave now before it hurts our daughter who is 6 months old? Wow, 6 months old. That's a baby. We need to go backwards in time to figure it all out, but I don't know if I have the energy. Can we relate? Who has been so burnt out, so out of gas that it's like, I just don't have the energy anymore. I know I've said that plenty of times. You know what? I'm just over it. And that's a big thing I'm working on currently with my relationships is I need to stop. I just don't have time. I have too much going on. And so let's help her out. She wanted to rename anonymous, which is great. And I hope you're watching. If not, get the replay at my YouTube channel. But first of all, we need to understand what is truth and what's perception. And just from, I kind of condensed her letter, but some backstory that I think we all need to understand is what is truth? The truth is you guys loved each other at one point and probably still do. You have a young 6-month-old baby. And the truth is you don't know where your arguments are stemming from. That tells me a core value hasn't been broken. I could be wrong, but it just seems like you have a perception, he has a perception of what's going on. We don't have his perception yet. But I want to go with what your perception is. You're arguing, you're thinking that it's over because you guys can't get along. What we need to do is we need to step even further back and look at how long has this been since you guys started arguing, right? Since you guys started can't stand each other, bickering. And when I actually read the rest of her letter, it began when she was pregnant. And as you all know, if you've been a mother or you've been a father supporting a mother, things change. Season of life, things change. Hormones are rapid for the mom. You know, she's going through a lot of body changes. For the dad, he's going through a lot of emotional changes. He's going through some body changes as well. We all gain weight during pregnancy normally, right? And so that's true. Acknowledge that for the father too. He's going through what you're going through. He's eating what you're eating. So we're all going through a lot of changes, whether it's health and it's, finances. The dad might be, really scared, fear of, oh my gosh, my wife is on maybe temporary disability while she is at home with the child, right? While she's going through her pregnancy. That is like a cut and pay for the household. Dad now has to pick up that, but not make it so, hard on the mom. Dad is worrying about what are we going to do after daycare? After birth, we have daycare. Who's going to take care of the baby? What does finances look? So that's a stress, right? And then on top of it, the household changes. One or the other might be having to take on more burden and still work. Maybe both parents, mom is at home, getting ready to deliver the baby, and dad has to come home from work. He has to, cook dinner, or he has to buy takeout, or he needs to clean up because mom's not feeling well and she's just very tired. So that's a lot of strain on a relationship. And that's a whole nother episode that we're going to get into later on. But we have to see both perspectives. And so while you are going through this transition, I want you to remember it's temporary. And even though it didn't get resolved in the very beginning stages, we're going to fix it now. And there's some really quick ways that you can fix it. 6 months, the baby's 6 months old. It's a good thing to establish a bedtime routine, but it's also good to establish and block out specific time for you and your husband or you and your partner. And that means what is that time in your calendar on your phone when you bring up your calendar, what specific hour or 2 hours do you have dedicated to spending time with each other? That will take care of a lot of it. There's no need to bicker anymore or argue. You know the unknowns are answered because you know when you're gonna get with your partner, when you're gonna be able to be together and really bond. And then the last thing I wanna share, when you do have that time, it's not time to sleep. Even if you're dead tired, get that nap in before. Be intentional with this time. Do some fun stuff. Babies put down to bed. All right, we have an hour of uninterrupted time. So who or what are we gonna do? Right? Like who are we gonna call over? We're gonna have some adult time. Are we gonna, you and I gonna have watch a movie? Are we gonna have just dinner? Are we gonna have quiet time where we just look at each other and we talk to each other? Whatever it is for you, intentional time is so crucial when you are a first time mom or just a mother in general, first time dad or a father in general. If you have small kids, if you have a business, if you have a podcast, it's intentional about time so that the other person knows what exact time you're going to carve out and that you were that important to carve out the time to spend with each other. I hope that helps somebody right away because if you're not doing that, I promise you it will make a world of difference. Arguments, petty stuff, all that kind of stuff can be resolved if you become intentional about your relationship and show the other partner that you're invested in them. And that goes for both men and women. Intentionality. And if your partner's not on board yet, you get on board. Don't worry about your partner. I promise you, it will uncover one of two things. One, your partner's like, wow, I need to be a better version of me because my wife or my husband is trying really hard. They became intentional. That feels good. That feeling of validation is set in. And so they're more likely to come on board with you. Or two, they're not on board. They're going to go and retreat, and you can't do anything about that. You try. And then that's a whole different avenue that we tackle because when it gets to that point, if there's not two partners that are willing to come together and work on it together and one person shuts the other person out, it's not going to be positive for both you, your partner, or your child. So I hope that helps prioritize things in your household. That is the last tip I will leave you, meaning what can you cut out from your home that can give you that time if you're having trouble finding that time? Is it laundry needs? Do we need to hire a nanny? Even though we don't have time, what's the best next thing? Or do we need to take our laundry to a laundry service? We need to make the money in order to have certain things that we need to cut out to have our family stay cohesive and happy. If it's getting a house cleaner, I had to do that during my marriage. We got a house cleaner. I wish we had a chef, but we weren't that fortunate or we had, all these kids to support. But, whatever it is, meal prepping, stuff you can do, I can help coach you through so much that you can do. There's unlimited amount of stuff that you can do to cut out and carve out that time for each other. So remember, you go to askcindysoto@gmail.com or you can go to mefirstnow.com and ask your question. You'll click on ask your question or just leave me an email. And and we can maybe answer yours on air, because if we get enough people with the same topic, it'll be easier for me to just be sure that I help everybody. We can help so many. Um, Other than that, I will email you directly and answer your question. And I hope that you'll spend a coaching session with me so that we can help you thrive in your life, in your family, have unlimited life. In life, you'll have unlimited health, um, an abundance of wealth, an abundance of happiness, because those small little tweaks go a long way. And so keep on watching for our next episode. The next episode is actually kind of fire. And it's about relationships after infidelity, how to navigate that. Can it still work? Um, it's a personal, probably the most personal I'll get with you. We're gonna navigate through the things to look for if you're suspecting infidelity, the things to do that you can become the best version of you, and those things never enter your marriage or your partnership. If they're gonna enter, right? But what can we do to be proactive? And so there's some things that you can do that I really believe that could change a lot of this, a lot of these unknowns in that category. So join in for tomorrow as we talk about the truth behind infidelity, the hurt behind infidelity, and how to come out of infidelity a better person if you are the one that was unfaithful, or if you are the victim of infidelity through your partnership, and how to navigate both ends. And I will have the answer if you guys can overcome infidelity. And I've already told you earlier, if you were listening, absolutely get rid of that mentality. Once a cheater, always a cheater. It's so false. Um, as long as your partner is willing to do the work. And so, with that, we are going to wrap up today's episodes. I hope you have learned, you've gotten some good feedback on how to navigate through some things of, um, if you should stay or you should go. You have any additional questions, if you want specific answers to your situation, you can follow me on any platform, send me a message, or go over to mefirstnow.com and book your free strategy session. That I'm going to give you 30 minutes of my time. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need. There's a myth behind coaching that you need a coach forever. Some people do. Some people just need their hand held through life, through situations, and that's okay. Or they need it longer than a couple sessions. Whatever it is, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to thrive and be a different person, different version of you, and be the best version of you as you navigate and tackle. You got this. I got you. And together we got each other. So see you back here tomorrow, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. And I hope to be reading your question on air. Have a great afternoon. Happy Friday. And we will see you soon. Good night.